Well, howdy, howdy, howdy. Nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys and girls, and welcome to this, hopefully, my last day vlogging on my PlayStation 4. Now, I have heard in comments people saying things like, this looks good. The quality of the camera and the quality of the video is good. Now, it is. It's a surprisingly nice camera with a surprisingly nice frame rate and resolution and all that, and that's very, very good. I'm quite pleased with that. The reason that things don't look as good on my PC setup isn't because the equipment isn't good or any of that. It's because of the way I have to render it and the amount of light that my camera gets. Because it's, you know, it's on a computer, it's got the basic software set up for it, it's kind of dynamic in that it deals with the amount of lighting that you have. If you have low lighting, then you'll have a low frame rate and low resolution to try and maximize as much data as it can get. So the better lighting you have, the higher frame rate, the greater amount of data it records, and so your files get bigger, but they look much, much better. I've only got one 100-watt light bulb directly above me, and my webcam will record at anywhere between like 15 to 20 frames per second because of the low lighting, and will adjust the amount of data that it's putting in that it can see as well. So there's more artifacting as it just makes up for the low amount of data that it has. So that's special. And that explains why, partially on that, and then with my computer, because of these, I use semi-old video editing software. I use Filmora 8. That's not an 8, that's a 7. I use Filmora 8. They're on to Filmora 9, and they're pushing Filmora Pro. So they don't do anything with Filmora 8 anymore, and Filmora 8, unfortunately, does not do hardware acceleration with my hardware. And so a 20-minute vlog takes 40 minutes to render at low settings. I put it at like 20 frames per second, 20 to 25 frames per second, at about a 4K bit rate, the amount of data that it stuffs into it, and it takes 40 minutes, so they look okay, but not wonderful. If I had better lighting, if I had better equipment, it would do better. Now, the reason I don't use Filmora 9, the step up from it, because I got the free upgrade, I could use it, it still doesn't feel complete, and they went and took a lot of features out. In Filmora 8, the one that I use, there's advanced editing where you can go in and use masks. Now that mask is like when you've seen the intro to some of my vlogs, if you don't watch my gameplay stuff, or if you watch my gameplay stuff, how my face cam is a circle. Or if you watch my Reddit reading stuff, it's a circle. That's the mask. It just masks out everything else so that you see the gameplay. So it takes a square picture and just boink, makes it into a circle. There are about 20 different types of masks that you can choose in Filmora 8. Filmora 9, there's no masks. There is one overlay that you can use that simulates a mask, and that it's a circle, and then it cuts everything else out, but there's no real masking. If you want a mask, oh, you can buy Filmora Pro, and then you can even make your own masks on top of the selection of masks they give you. So on the upgrade from the Filmora 8 to 9, they took out a bunch of stuff. How much more they've taken out, I don't know. Because I've tried using it, and I find it very frustrating. They took an easy-to-use system and made it different and harder to use, harder to navigate. Now, part of this is, of course, old man yelling at cloud, get off my damn lawn sort of stuff. You know, it's, I'm used to this, I don't like change. There is a small portion of that. I am a human being. it's going to happen. I am contrary, I am contradictory, I am just a normal human being. That's the way we all are. So there's a bit of that. But the other parts is the fact that it's just more difficult to get to things. It's more difficult to find stuff. On the regular editing stuff, you wanted to edit some text, you know, it would have it in a pretty easy to find little area. Now when you want to edit text, it's in like a window that has a big large scrolling field in the back, and then you have to scroll through the field to find what you want to edit, and then none of it's highlighted. It's difficult. Why? And so they took a lot of easy to use features and made them difficult because it's more professional to do so. So I don't like Filmora 9 because of the fact that it's taken stuff away and made it more difficult to use. So I use Filmora 8 because it has more features that I'm used to. I've tried finding guides to do things for Filmora 9. And there's guides for 8, and there's guides for Pro, not much for 9. Even on the Filmora website, they don't have a lot of info for 9. It's like most of it is for, hey, here's Pro. Well, thanks, but I got 9, and you're pushing 9, so what's going on? So that's joyous. It's fun. If I'm not centered, and I checked my vlog yesterday, and I'm not centered, I don't know how to get properly centered. I get myself centered for the preview, and then when it's rendered, it's not quite. So if my room looks more terrible than usual, my sincere apologies. I'm just dealing with a bunch of stuff right now. Also, the fan was delivered over the weekend, but it being a weekend and the actual post office part shut tight, I went walkies last night in the cold and the wind. Stopped by the post office. The only thing I have in there right now is my renewal for my post office box, and that showed up on Friday, and I've just been not wanting to open it because I'm not going to be able to pay for it this month, which means at the end of February they're going to lock it again, and then I've got 10 days to pay for it. Luckily I got paid on the 3rd, so I should be able to pay for it on the 3rd. Oh good Lord, my sincere apologies. If I could edit this stuff out, I would. And I'll talk about the editor in a little moment here. But I'm going to be walking to the post office this morning, and hopefully they'll have stuffed the fan or given me a little notice or something so I can pick it up, because it was shown as delivered. And then I will install it when I get back. So this should be my last PlayStation 4 thing, except it's not going to be my last PlayStation 4 thing. I have found that I really like being able to do the gameplay, even without a face cam, is nice. It's more, it's pretty immediate, and but the fact that there's not a lot of editing I can do helps. One of the things I wanted to do with my one Bloodborne gameplay that I uploaded yesterday is cut out loading screen bits. Now there is a function you can split your videos with the split video function, and then you can delete chunks. I went and split it here, and then I moved over, split it there, and then I deleted that piece there. And then I went to split it in another section, and it's set on delete. No backing up out of that function. It wants to delete a clip before it will let me split again. The only clip I have is a 20-minute chunk, and I'm not going to get rid of the entire video so I can split what I have left. So the amount of editing that I actually can do is extremely limited. That part bugs me. So, but I like being able to play the games. I like being able to do it quickly because there's not a lot of editing I can do. And the PlayStation renders fast. I mean, that takes 40 minutes to render a 20-minute video. The PlayStation is, it just takes its recorded footage and then edits, and then, what's the word, transforms it converts, there we are, it converts the footage into a format that YouTube can use, and then I just upload it from there to YouTube. Now, it's fun, I enjoy it, but, you know, cool. But now that I'm going to be getting the fan, and hopefully it'll be working good again, once I get that fan in there and that thing is up and running, I will be doing my normal stuff again. And of course, that's going to be meaning more ASMR. It's going to be meaning now I can write. Because I can't write because it's been dead, because there's no real way to write fiction on a PlayStation. But I'll be having, like I said, more ASMR, more fiction. I'll be having more of those pronunciation guides, more song mutilations. I have song mutilations coming up. I've got those, what's that other thing that I was doing? Oh yes, I got more Reddit reading reactions, because I can't edit those on here. So, and that'll be good. Definitely a thumbs up. So, I gotta say, hopefully, the next thing the video you see will be edited from my beastie. Now, if it's not that fan, which I don't know how it couldn't be, because as stated yesterday, I saw my computer, I talked about how when I turned it on, my thermal margin was 50 Celsius and dropped to 20 Celsius in the space of about a minute, minute and a half. The only way that that could be happening is if the radiator is not radiating the heat away. And the only way the radiator could not be radiating the heat away is number one, not two, number one, it would be choked with dust. Because when it's choked with dust, you can't get airflow and the heat builds up. Or number two, the fan is not working. I blew the dust out of that thing. All the dust is gone. There's perfect airflow through the radiator. And it went from 50 to 20 in a minute and a half. That tells me no airflow. That tells me dead fan. So if it doesn't work, I don't know what will. It should. I mean, it can't be the power supply. That wouldn't make it heat up. So, I mean, by the process of elimination and deduction and all that, trying to be Sherlockian, sorry about that, or Holmesian, however the term would be. But I was trying to just show off that I had worked it out and was being clever. Good job of being clever. Again, I would like to thank people for having left me comments. I would like to show my patreon.com patrons on the screen. I can't. I don't have access to any of those things while I'm doing this. That's the biggest thing. That's something I was thinking about while I was out walking. One of the bigger differences between computers versus tablets versus the consoles. A computer, it's taken a long time to get up to good multitasking, but Windows 10 is really good at multitasking now. There are some programs that don't play well, but the operating system itself is good at multitasking. So I am constantly multitasking. I don't just have one thing up and running. I have a lot of programs up, not when I'm rendering, not when I'm recording. I kill all those. But when I'm just doing regular stuff, I've got a lot of things, and I can flick through them instantly. With a phone, because of the different operating systems, phone or tablet, because they use, they're roughly the same system. It's just a tablet doesn't make phone calls. With those things, as I try to remember what I was talking about. I hate fibromyalgia and being tired. It's got to do, oh, good Lord. Multitasking, yes. It does not. They do not multitask per se. What they have is a section of their RAM, and it depends on how much RAM to how much they can do this. They just suspend the program. Just stop it. And then they keep a snapshot of that in RAM so that when you come back to it, it just unsuspends it and starts it again. You're not multitasking. You're single tasking, but because it keeps those snapshots in RAM, it just jumps back to them. That's what like the Macintosh used to do like 20-25 years ago. But it works. As long as you got enough RAM, you can have enough snapshots, and it'll drop snapshots as it needs more RAM, but That's good. It's fine. It's not multitasking, but it's fast. The console, the PlayStation, and the Xbox, to a different degree, they use a slightly different system, keeps one snapshot. So that you're playing a game, or you're in the SHAREfactory, or whatever, you hit your PlayStation or your Xbox guide button, I'm so sorry, and it'll jump you back to home, and then from there you can just jump back to the snapshot and it unsuspends it and you go. It keeps one snapshot. It's back to 1990s single tasking. Yay! That's why everything is so slow, because if I leave my editing software, the SHAREfactory, I better make sure everything's saved, and I start up something else, it flushes that snapshot and then puts whatever you're loading in its place so that you can quickly jump back to the new thing. And so at having to flush and then refill with each new application, it just has to reload everything from scratch. Takes time. Does happen. Thumbs up. But that's just me talking about the systems and how my computer should be up and running when I get back. Definitely a thumbs up. Well, I would like to thank you very much for having come along with me on this journey of exploration. Trying to figure out where to look is kind of tough. There's 2 cameras on the PlayStation camera, and I don't know which one is in use when it's single recording, so I don't know where to look, but right between them is a red dot. And I try to stare at the red dot right between the 2 cameras because I don't know which one. I'm looking at, it would be its left, my right, its left, or, ugh. Yeah, that's my right, its left, my left, its right. As I'm switching, staring into which camera to see which one's which, and then there's me staring at the red dot. So hopefully I'll be able to figure all this out. Thumbs up. So you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, my friend, and that is a very good thing. Definitely a thumbs up.